Thank you for that. Of course, that is the burial of Mary Agnes Njambi, who is the mother of the outgoing CBK governor. We'll be bringing you the latest with regard to that. Now, former National Treasury Principal Secretary Dr. Kamau Thugge is set to be vetted by the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning for the position of CBK governor. And Dr. Thugge, who serves as Senior Advisor and Head of Fiscal Affairs and Budget Policy at State House, was among 6 candidates shortlisted by the Public Service Commission. And the former PS is making a comeback after he was forced out of his position at the Treasury over his alleged role in the multi-billion shilling, that is the Kumwerere and Arrow Dams construction in Elgeyo Marakwet. Now, Dr. Thugge was cleared of any wrongdoing in 2021. If cleared, he will serve a term of 4 years, renewable once, subject to performance.
To help the government foreign debt and the debt in general within limits. And if that's the case, Bwana nominee, of course that erodes the independence of the central bank. So if appointed, how determined are you to ensure that your monetary policy is not influenced by fiscal policy matters of the government of the day?
Thank you. Dr. Thugge, you may respond. Please, Honorable Makilap and Honorable Paul, please switch off your mics. Thank you very much. And on the issue that was asked by Honorable Munyoro on cryptos, as you're aware, the finance bill, we're doing public participation on it. And one of the issues that keep coming up is that the current guidelines of central bank doesn't allow doesn't allow transactions between cryptocurrencies and the banks. So even when the finance bill proposes a withholding tax, they were asking then, how are we supposed to remit that withholding tax when the guidelines don't allow us to trade between, doesn't allow us to do transaction between us and the banks. Please proceed, Dr. Thugge.
A question was asked, I think the first question was on the issue of credit risk affecting the banking system. And indeed, Chair, the level of not performing loans in relation to gross loans has been increasing. And the latest information I have is that it's now at 14.6%. I think last month it was 14%. But I think the explanatory factors are not the criteria of in loan appraisals or even the credit rating. I think it's purely a reflection of what is happening in the economy, Chairman. The manufacturing sector may not be doing as well as it should, and therefore maybe it's not paying its loans on time. There's also the real estate sector. There are quite a number of maybe commercial buildings that are not occupied, and maybe there are also late rental payments, and which means that they're not paying the banks on time. I'm sure there's some contractors who have not been paid by government, and that is also having an impact on them paying their loans to the banks. And of course, we've all read about the pending bills, and they're delayed in transfers of funds to county governments, and so that has also reflected in the increase in the non-performing loans. So I think it is not so much the system of assessing credit risk, but that the economy is not performing as well as it could. And I believe that once we are able to unlock the growth, that these non-performing loans will decline accordingly. On the issue of the Section 33 of the Banking Act and the ceiling of 4% over the CBR, of course, this has since been removed. It was, I believe, implemented in September of 2016 and removed in late 2019. I think it did not have a good impact on the financial system. And if you actually look at credit to the private sector since that law was implemented, credit to the private sector has not actually been growing. It's been growing by, I think, maybe on average until last year, on average maybe 6%. I would imagine from 2016 to early 2022. Credit to the private sector could not have, on average, increased by 7%. We've seen now a recovery in credit to the private sector since early last year, and I think even the latest number shows that now credit is actually increasing.
Right, that is the vetting of the former National Treasury Principal Secretary, Dr. Kamau Thugge, who is currently being vetted